Very good evening to everyone and welcome to this next in our live stream series. This is Christopher Daigan coming to you on Wednesday in January. It is our live stream number 190. This is our Music Revival online program, and I'm very much hoping that you can join us for the next hour in a very relaxed session of music. Wednesday is piano hour. It's something a little bit different, something to explore different types of music. And this evening I am going to be playing a selection of very relaxing and very meditative, very simple music, you might say. Very contemporary music, mostly by the composer Ludovico Einaudi, as well as some music from two other contemporary piano composers, Alexander Desplat and Yeruma. And I'm going to play Einaudi. I'm going to play 8 pieces of his this evening in one complete set. I was going to be playing something else that is exploring some new ideas, new repertoires, but I'm needing a little bit more time on that, so it's going to be coming up in a week or two's time. But in the middle of the month, the start to a new year, and things are really starting to, the reality of the new year and the reality of new beginnings is really starting to kick in, and I think myself and a lot of other people included, I've been speaking to, seem to need something a little bit maybe gentle and calm at this point in the year, because it's a new start and the holiday season is certainly over and things are starting to return to normal in various senses. The music by Einaudi this evening is, he is a very contentious composer, you might say. A lot of people, especially from the more traditional or conservative classical world, think that his music is elevator music, or that it has no real value at all. I, on the other hand, see its place. I understand what it is. I'm under no illusions about the simplicity and the purity about what the music actually is about, and I think it does have a place, and I think it certainly does have a place in this live stream program, for instance. I'm not sure if it really would work in a great concert hall in amongst the great masterpieces of composers like Bach and Beethoven, but certainly Einaudi has his own presentations that he produces around the world. He is probably the best-selling classical artist of our contemporary age, and his music is original, and he has an original voice. And I do think that music has many different ways. We have many different ways of interacting with music. It doesn't always have to be intellectual. It doesn't always have to be stimulating. In some ways, which I think Einaudi's music is about, it actually has a great simplicity, which is very calming, very reassuring, and very nourishing. I think there's a wonderful sincerity to the music and a very original sound and voice. And someone else who's got an original sound and voice, of course, is... surprise, surprise. It's little Lucy. Hello, Lucy. As soon as I stop playing, you know that you are going to make your presence felt. So, little Lucy, how is everything? Dare I ask, what did little Lucy do today? Nothing. Just nothing? Yes, nothing. Okay, thanks, Lucy. Nothing again from little Lucy on this beautiful day. It's been rather grey and rather humid. A little bit of sun this morning, but very humid. But Lucy's here. Lucy's here coming to take up her place amongst the cushions. I see they need to be rearranged. So let me do that for you quickly, because otherwise there's no space for all of you to take your place and enjoy the music. So to start this evening's program in our live stream on the 19th of January, I'm going to play 2 pieces that are just going to pave another voice, another way into the selection of music. The first of which by the contemporary composer Alexander Desplat, film composer, and this is music for the Twilight films. Very beautiful piece called The Meadow, or New Moon. And straight after that, another contemporary piece, very popular amongst many young pianists, called River Flows In You, by the Korean pianist Yeruma. Both of these pieces have a very unique character. I think they have a very touching and a very sincere sound to them. And I think they lead the way quite beautifully into the selection of Einaudi's music, which I'll introduce after that. two pieces to begin this evening's selection of music, contemporary, flowing, beautiful piano music with a very contemporary sound by contemporary composers. There I started off with Alexander Desplat and The Meadow, or the New Moon from Twilight films, and after that Yiruma and The River Flows in You. Now I'm going to continue by playing 8 pieces by Ludovico Einaudi. As I've mentioned, Einaudi is a very contemporary composer and very popular music. He writes in a number of different styles. Some of the pieces do sound the same, and I've tried to choose 8 pieces which have different qualities and different sounds. Some of them I have played before and some of them I haven't. And I am going to play all 8 as a set, which means it's going to be quite a substantial piece of music. In fact, it's going to take up the rest of the program, that I won't introduce anything else in between. But just to tell you what they are, I think Barry is going to bring them up on the titles. I'm going to start off with Una Mattina, or One Morning, the Samba, followed by Primavera, or Spring, a piece called La Nascita I can't remember the rest of the title, but it translates as The Secrets or the Origins of the Birth of Small Things. Due Tre Tramonti, which is 2 sunsets, Nuvolo Bianchi, which is white clouds, Blonde, which is The Wave, which is a piece of music that really was his most celebrated composition at the beginning of his career, a piece that was inspired by the novel by Virginia Woolf of the same title, or The Waves. And then ending off with a little piece which I very much like, called Onde Corte, or Short Waves, which has, the last one has a particular rhythmic element to it, a little bit of a contemporary pop element, you might say. And I think this is what's unique about Einaudi's music, is that it creates such beautiful sounds, there are beautiful melodies, there are very sustained rhythms, and a beautiful sense of pace and pulse, which transcends through the music, which I think comes from a very contemporary popular music background. But the melodies themselves are very simple, they repeat themselves quite often. There's always something very interesting, and often a little corner, just when you expect the music to go one way, through his repeated patterns of various chords, he suddenly changes it. It changes the texture, changes an element in the chord or a certain harmony, and it just provides just that extra bit of interest, I think, which makes the music that much more interesting and brings it above elevator music, you might say, and to something, I think, quite gentle, pleasing, nourishing, and hopefully uplifting, even transformational, one might say. So here we go. There's a selection of 8 pieces by Ludovico Einaudi for this evening's piano hour session. bringing an end there to our selection of music by Ludovico Einaudi. That was a rather unresolved note, but I think that's rather fitting with such a varied selection of music by this contemporary composer. I hope you've enjoyed that. There were 8 pieces in total, just to go through them again. Una Mattina, the Samba, Primavera or Spring, the title La Nascita della Cosa Segreta, the Origins of Small Things, is the correct title. Due Tramonti, Two Sunsets, Nuvolo Bianchi, White Clouds, Lond or The Wave, and to end off with Onde Kort or Shortwave. So I hope you've enjoyed that selection. I think it's such fascinating music. I must be honest, playing all 8 pieces together really allows one to explore these different ideas and really get into, I think, something of the essence. And every time, as I say, there's always something just unusual. Just when you think the pattern's going to be repeated again in a very straightforward, predictable manner, the composer produces just a little element of something quite surprising, and I find the music really wonderful. I love playing it, I love sharing it with you, and I hope you've enjoyed that selection of music. That does bring, however, to a close this evening's program of Piano Hour. Please join me on Saturday night once again for our in-concert session. I'll be playing a selection of music, including some very rarely played rondos by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and of course someone who is definitely going to be here to join us on Saturday night. Lucy, are you going to be here? Because everyone's dying to see Lucy. If Lucy does not appear on the live stream, then everyone says, what happened to little Lucy? Where is little Lucy? And little Lucy knows that on Wednesdays and Saturdays it's time to come on the live stream. It's little Lucy, look. Little Lucy's sweet little Lucy. Look at your big fluffy paws, and you've got big fluffy ears, and everyone thinks that you are the sweetest girl. Lots of people are sending messages just for little Lucy. I think maybe we're even going to have open up a special Facebook fan page for little Luce. What do you think of that? What do you have to say about that, Luce? Nothing. It's nothing. Little Lucy. Thank you very much to everyone who's joined me this evening. Thank you, Barry, for the technical support. Look after yourselves. Stay well. It's the next in our live stream series on Saturday, number 191. Gosh, we really are getting on. But we're determined to carry on until the lockdown is finally over, until this is finally finished, or until something gives way. And I hope we're going to enjoy the selection of music that we have for you this week and the next. So stay well. Look forward to seeing you then.